Welcome back to another RV sales process where we're going to be talking about RV sales process. And if you are an RV salesperson that wants to hop into a role play, drop a comment, let me know that you want to hop into the role play, and we'll go ahead and we'll get you in here. That way we can improve your sales process. So we'll dive right into it. Today we're going to be talking about the one appointment close. Now, a lot of people in RV sales or in sales in general might think that it's very hard to get a one appointment close, right? Maybe we're used to sales cycles are taking months, weeks, maybe possibly years in the RV industry, right? We always have that customer that comes in and says, hey, I'm looking 5 years out. Hey, I'm not buying today. Hey, we're just doing our research, or, whatever the case might be. Customers have every excuse in the book for why they're not buying today. But the fact is, they came into your dealership, they put an internet lead on a RV or a product that you have on your website. They gave you a call today. They did something that shows me today this customer is looking at an RV, right? Maybe something happened. Maybe last week they went camping. Maybe their friends have a camping trip coming up next month and they want to join, or it made them think about RVs, or maybe they were talking about it last night at dinner, how they wanted to travel to the Grand Canyon, or there's many reasons why customers, potential clients, potential RVers are coming to you today instead of in 5 months or in a year or in 2 years or in a week, right? There's typically something that got them interested in the RV, no matter if it's an internet lead, if it's a walk in lead, whatever it is. You have to understand that something happened to get that customer thinking about actively looking at an RV today, actively going to an RV dealership, actively spending their time, which is, as humans, our most important resource or our most valuable resource, to look at RVs, right? So when they tell you they're not buying today or they tell you they're researching, there might be a little bit of truth to that, but they probably are buyers as well, right? Because at the end of the day, we all know that in cars and RVs, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's going to change in 5 years. So if you're an RV customer and you're at an RV dealership and you're looking for RVs today for something that you're going to do in 5 years, it doesn't make much sense because the RVs will be different. The prices will be different. They might have all new technologies and they might completely change the stuff. I mean, you never know what's going to happen in 5 years, right? So, I mean, to research today on something that's going to happen in 5 years, like technology and floor plans and companies changing and so on and so forth, isn't going to be a thing. Well, that's just not true, right? It just doesn't make sense, right? So when they tell you that, they're telling you, I'm not buying today, because what they truly mean is they haven't found an RV salesperson or the right RV, or they haven't found the right product that gets them excited to buy today. That's what they mean. They don't mean that they will never buy today, because there's a lot of times we'll say we'll never do something and then we'll go do it. Or we'll go and we'll say, oh, I'm not going to buy a new car today, but I'm going to go look, and then I end up buying a new car today. So it happens all the time, right? That's our nature as humans. We're emotional beings. We buy things off emotion. And if we're at your dealership, if we put in an internet lead, if we gave you a phone call, then something happened to get me emotionally invested to look today, to walk to the dealership, to give you a call, to get an internet lead, to get the pricing, right? So you have to understand that and, hear what they're saying. But, hey, I hear that you're not going to buy today, but this is what we're going to do, X, Y, and Z. right? So that's what you need to understand first. When a customer comes to you and the first thing that they say is, I'm not buying today, or, we're just in the research phase, or, we're just here to take a look at different floor plans, whatever the case is, just know that there is still a chance that that customer is going to buy. Because if you don't, in your mind as a salesperson, think that that customer is going to buy today, or that there's no chance to sell them an RV today, then you're not going to take them through the proper RV sales process. You're not going to learn the information you need, and you're going to lose the sale right in the very beginning, right from the first sentence, because you're going to waste your time showing these customers RVs, but in your mind, the whole time, you're going to be telling yourself, this customer's not buying, they're buying in 5 years, I'm wasting my time, I want to go get another up. You're thinking about the phone calls you should be making. I mean, there's a lot of things that we could be thinking of, but the truth is that customer has emotions. They want an RV. They're going to buy it either today or in 5 years. And if you do a good enough sales process, if you dig in deep enough, if you pull out their emotions, then you will be able to get that customer to buy today. So we always say, and I'm sure you've heard this in your RV dealership, maybe your sales managers have told you, maybe your GMs, maybe other salespeople you work with had said something like this, but customers lie, right? Customers lie. They'll tell you they're not buying today, and then they'll go to another dealership, and because another salesperson did a better job at showing them the right RV and pulling out their emotions, they'll buy an RV today. So you have to understand that that is just another objection. It's an objection that you're getting from the very beginning of the sales process. And it's maybe an objection you're getting because these customers have such a bad experience when they're with RV salespeople across the board that they don't want to deal with, another hounding salesperson that just wants to push them into an RV that doesn't make sense for their needs, right? Maybe that's what they dealt with at all these other RV dealerships, and they're automatically judging you before they even allow you to take them through your sales process, right? So those customers, we just have to slow down a little bit. We have to, explain to them why we have our buying process, just as we've spoke in past videos about setting your intentions early and letting them know, hey, the way that we do business here at this dealership is we sit you down, we learn, who, what, when, where, why, and how you're going to be using that RV, just so that we can make sure we're showing you the right floor plans. Once we show you a couple RVs that meet your needs, we're going to come in, we're going to take a look at the pricing. That way, you know what you can buy that RV for, for cash or in a monthly payment. And if one of those RVs meet your needs, I'll ask you to buy it. If they don't, I won't even ask you to buy it. Sound fair enough? Right? So when I set my intentions early like that, it sets me up for a one appointment close because it's lowering my customers' defenses. It's explaining to them this is why I'm asking you who, what, when, where, why, and how. And even if you're in the research phase, even if you are going to, buy an RV in 5 years, then you still need to know this information. I'm just helping you get the information you need. In 5 years, you still want a floor plan that meets your needs. You still want pricing that meets your needs. You still want a unit that's going to help you accomplish what you want to accomplish, right? So by me sitting you down, asking you questions, figuring out these things, learning your emotions, it's going to help me give you the information you need, whether you buy an RV today or in 5 years. But if it's the right RV today, I'm going to ask you to buy it. Does that sound fair enough? Right? So the sales process works whether we're talking about someone that's looking 5 years down the road or someone that comes in and says, hey, we want to buy an RV today. What do you have? We're going to do the same thing. Hey, the way that we do business here at this dealership is we ask you who, what, when, where, why, and how you're going to be using that RV. Then I'm going to take a look at my inventory, find what RVs meet those needs. Once I find an RV that meets those needs, we'll go out to the lot. We'll take a look at one or two RVs. Once we look at them, we're going to come back in, we're going to look at the pricing. That way, you know what it'll take to buy this RV with cash or in a monthly payment. And then if that RV meets your needs, I'm going to ask you to buy it. If it doesn't, I won't even ask you to buy it. That sound fair enough? Right? So either way we go, we're saying the same thing, we're getting to the same deal, but what that introduction allows us to do is set up our interview and qualify process. And if you want to do a one appointment close, the most important part of the sales process is the interview and qualify. I have to stress that. The most important part of the sales process is the interview and qualify. The reason it's the most important part is because in the interview and qualify is where you're going to learn your customer's true needs, their wants, their emotions, their desires, and the reason they are even looking at RVs in the first place. Customers are not looking at RVs because they have two slide rooms. Customers are not looking at RVs because they have a power front tongue jack. Customers are not looking at RVs because they have an enclosed underbelly and forced air into the underbelly, right? Those might be perks and positive things to a unit that meets their needs. Like say, for example, a customer camps late into the fall and in colder weather or cooler weather, so they need a enclosed underbelly with forced heat into the underbelly. Okay, once I learn that my customer does fall camping and it's the favorite time of the year to go out for them and they do more fall camping than summer camping, right? Once I learn that in the interview and qualify, well, now it's a big deal for my RV to have an enclosed underbelly with forced air, pushed into the underbelly, right? Because my potential customer or client plans on being out in colder weather. So this is going to help them accomplish their goal, right? If this customer or client says, hey, I spend all my time camping in the summer, I don't even like fall camping. As soon as it gets cold, I winterize my RV and I put it up for the season. Okay, we could be talking about the same RV, same underbelly, and, it's got forced air into the belly and all that good stuff, and it's a great feature for someone that camps into colder months. But someone camping in summer months might not love that, might not care about it. So maybe I don't want to bring that up. Instead, I might say something like, oh, there's a kayak rack on the back, and I learned they like to kayak. Oh, this RV is perfect for your summer travels. It has a kayak rack on the back. It has all the room for your fishing poles. It has X, Y, and Z. And that's why this RV is going to fit your needs specifically, right? And once you get customers talking about their needs, their wants, their emotions, their desires, and once you start helping your customers reach those needs, wants, and desires with your product or your service, whatever it is, well, now they're going to buy today. Now you can turn that customer that was, I'm not buying for 5 years, or I'm just doing my research, you can turn them into a buyer today. Because then you can say something like, well, I hear what you're saying, but you mentioned to me that you want to travel with your wife and you guys want to go to, X, Y, and Z, and you want to do this and you want to create memories and you want to do that. But you guys are already 50 years old. You're not getting any younger. It's not going to be easier to travel with an RV as you get older. It's going to be harder on your body and it's going to be harder on you. So it'll make it harder to travel. So if what you really want to do is create memories with your wife and go camping and go see the Grand Canyon and do all of these things, well, you should stop waiting. There's no reason to buy an RV in 5 years. Buy this RV today. Start creating those memories now because these things are priceless. And who knows? You guys might not even be here in 5 years. Life is a crazy thing. We never know what's going to happen. And we have to take advantage of the time that we have now. So I get that, you came in thinking that you wanted to buy in 5 years, but, after I learned that you wanted to travel to the Grand Canyon and you wanted to create these memories and you wanted X, Y, and Z, and after I found out that this RV can actually help you accomplish all of those goals now today, I think you should buy this RV now. Stop torturing you, stop torturing your wife, and start creating those priceless memories that you guys want to create together. Sign right here. Right? So that's how we're going to turn a customer into a one appointment close, even if maybe they were a researcher, or even if maybe they were someone that told you they're not buying today. But we can't do that if we don't learn the proper information in the interview and qualify. We cannot do that if we don't learn that the husband and the wife have a lifetime goal and they want to go camping and they want to travel together and they want to create priceless memories and they've been planning this for 10 years but they've never been able to pull the trigger, and the reason that they haven't been able to pull the trigger is because they're just nervous and they don't like to spend that much money at once. So they're really looking for a salesperson that can get them to cross that bridge and show them that this is a logical purchase for them because it's going to help them reach their goals, meet their needs, create those memories, and do what they have to do. Right? Customers buy with emotion, but they justify with logic. Okay, so they'll get emotionally wrapped up in the deal. Yeah, I want to go traveling. Yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, I want to do that. But logically, it doesn't make sense. I don't have $200 a month, so I can't do that. Which we probably do have $200 a month. We could go make more money. We could go do what we want to do to get that. All we have to do as a salesperson is to get my emotions, get my needs and my wants more important than $200 a month. Traveling with my wife, creating memories with my family, with my friends, creating those priceless memories, doing the things that are on our bucket list together, and just creating those priceless things with my wife. Is that more important than $200 a month? Yes, yes, it is. And when you can get a customer to see that difference here, when you can get them to emotionally be invested in that difference, now they will buy today. So don't let your customers and your potential clients tell you that they're not going to buy today or that they're in their research phase or that, they're buying in 5 years. I hear what you're saying, but let's just go through the sales process anyway and see what happens at the end. Because if you do a good interview and qualify, if you take them through a good RV sales process, then you can close the deal no matter what they tell you in the very beginning. Okay, but I cannot stress this enough. It's very, very, very important to have a good interview and qualify if you want to pull off a one appointment close. If you have a short interview and qualify, if you don't dig past surface level, if you don't learn your customer's true needs, wants, emotions, who, what, when, where, why, and how they're going to be using the RV, why that's important to them, what they're going to be doing, how that will impact their life if they accomplish these goals. If we don't learn those things, we won't have a strong enough close to get someone that's a researcher or a 5 year down the road buyer to close today. But if we do our due diligence, if we ask the right questions, if we dig past surface level in the interview and qualify from the very beginning, then we set ourselves up for a much higher chance to close the deal because we'll have the information we need to close the deal. Right? So if you sales are, you RV salespeople are talking with customers and speeding up the beginning of the sales process and not digging in and not interviewing and not qualifying and not asking who, what, when, where, why, and how they're going to be using their RV and why that's important to them and how it'll impact their life if they do get to travel and do these things that they want to do. If we're not learning that information, we'll never get to a one appointment close. We'll just keep showing RVs, keep showing RVs. We'll see the customer again next year doing the same thing. And then once the customer is ready to pull the trigger, they'll make the decision on their own. us as a salesperson, we can speed up people's decisions by getting them to see that difference that we talked about, that difference between, hey, your needs, your wants, your desires, your traveling, your memories, your X, Y, and Z are more important than $200 a month. Buy this RV today. Once we can get them to see that, now they're going to be willing to close. But if we don't ask the right questions, if we don't dig past surface level, if we don't dig into our customers' needs, wants, and emotions, we will never be able to get there. You have to understand that. So, really focus down on the beginning of the sales process, really focus down on the interview and qualify so that you can start closing more deals. If you're curious about the Sell More, Live More sales training process, you can learn more here in the book. You can get that on Amazon. You can get it on Barnes and Noble. Sell More, Live More sales training. Go to Amazon, go to Barnes and Noble, and pick up a copy of the book. And then that way you can go through these things before the deal, after the deal. Read it at home. Keep a copy in your desk. Keep a copy by your bed. That way you can, just keep improving your sales process because that's going to help you close more deals. If you are an RV dealership and you want to get better sales training for your RV sales team, or if you want to get more leads for your sales team, then IMR can help. My agency helps RV dealerships have more customers with, or more, I'm sorry, more conversations with customers so your sales team can close more sales. So if your sales team can handle more customers at your dealership, then give me a call, 330-703-3930. Again, 330-703-3930, because we can help your dealership get more customers through the door and more internet leads to your sales team so you can sell more RVs. If you want to shoot me an email, feel free to do that as well. Chris@got.marketing. So Chris@got.marketing, CHRIS, and it's also here in the comments. So if you want to shoot me an email, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call, 330-703-3930. I'd love to help you RV salespeople and RV sales teams take more customers through a one appointment close, because really that's how you're going to sell more RVs. That's how you're going to make more money, and that's how you're going to reach your sales goals. So if you are curious on how you can start doing more one appointment closes, hop on a role play with me. I want to do some live role plays. We've done, a couple here already with some RV salespeople, and we're helping them get their RV sales process dialed in. But if you want to do our RV sales process or a live role play with me, hop in here in a live role play. We'll walk through that sales process. We'll get you better at the deal. That way you can close more RV sales. So thank you for being here for this live RV sales process. Again, if you want to be in a live role play, shoot me a message on LinkedIn. That way we can get it scheduled in. Or you can always give me a call, 330-703-3930. I'd love to be able to help out your dealership, get more leads, get you locked in for a role play, or help your sales team get better at the RV sales process. So again, thank you for being here today. I'll see you on the next one.